young girls wilding at Sephora, y'all bullying librarians, the death of the preteen phase, as well as those damn age limits at the mall. All of these items are intrinsically linked, and they speak to a greater issue in our society: the death of third spaces as we know them. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the death of third spaces, how Flash killed virtual third spaces as we know it, and how all of that relates to why we no longer have a preteen phase for adolescents to be in. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. Hi guys, welcome back to Ella Pastoral. If this is your first time ever coming upon this channel right here, typically I make videos relating to all of my favorite pieces of media, and sometimes I do social commentary for fun. But in today's video, we're really going to get into the hot mess that is the Sephora girls, third spaces, and all of that. I wanted to do a cute little disclaimer by saying that even though I did do research for this video, a lot of this is just the mindings of a random girl on YouTube. So don't get messy in the comments, because a lot of y'all have been wilding recently. But before we can really talk about why we no longer have third spaces, let alone virtual third spaces, we need to talk about what a third space is. According to Third Spaces, what are they and why they are important to American culture, by Quinzon Colquitt. Ray Oldenburg, an American sociologist, created this term to describe the places outside of the home, the first place, and the workplace, the second place, where people go to converse with others and connect with their community. In this casual and social environment, no one is obligated to be there, and cost should not prevent people from attending. Thirdly, you might go to hang out with your friends. You might run into acquaintances by chance, or you might meet people you have never encountered before. It is a meeting ground to build relationships with others outside of work or home. For a lot of people, the local YMCA that was down the block was their third space. But if you had watched my Feminine Rage video, shameless plug right here, you would know that me having conservative African parents, they was not about to let me go to no YMCA for a good old interaction session, right? So as a young child, I had to figure out how I could get interaction outside of my family, and this is how I got led into the world of the internet and virtual third spaces. According to what the definition of a third space was to Ray Oldenburg, a third space is a place where you can interact with others outside of the home, right? But I wasn't really allowed to do that, so that is why virtual third spaces were so important to me. I was able to go on, let's say, Club Penguin, at my house, at the library. To be honest, all I really needed was a computer, and that's why virtual third spaces were so amazing and so important to my childhood and my overall sanity, because despite what my home situation was, I could always just go to the family computer, go on Club Penguin or whatever pop-in virtual third world there was, and be able to find solace in the community and overall just turning my brain off. A channel that I feel like does a really good job at talking about all of the virtual worlds / nostalgic pieces of media that made up a lot of our childhoods is this channel right here. I'm not even going to try to butcher the pronunciation of their names, because y'all really be coming for me in them damn comments when I mess up the pronunciations. But this channel, I love watching their deep dives about the history of, like, let's say Club Penguin or other virtual websites, like I think Neopets as well. Like, when I tell you these virtual worlds were so important in the longevity of my sanity growing up, you guys don't even understand. From Girls Go Games, that was my website, to websites like Club Penguin, I literally could not live without these virtual worlds. And yes, I know a lot of these virtual worlds that I'm going to be talking about in this video didn't exactly run on Flash, but they were very important to a lot of the virtual games that we played. And when we saw that Adobe was going to be killing Flash off forever and no longer supporting it, it really was the final signal that things were never going to be like they were in our childhood. And that's what I really want to tap into for this video, because when I saw the fact that Adobe wasn't bringing back Flash, I was like, this is the end. No more cute Flash games, no more virtual worlds, and we can really see that. As I was doing a lot of research for this video, it really dawned on me how blessed I am to have this YouTube channel to even talk to you guys about the lack of third spaces for teenagers and specifically preteens. And The way I'm able to get these videos to you guys back to back and be more consistent in the year of 2024 most definitely has to be because of my lovely Patreons. Thank you guys so much for your continued support in 2024. If you guys want to join the list of my lovely Patreons, you can go to Patreon at Ella Pastoral and you will be able to have early access, participate in polls, and overall we just have a really good fun time over there. So if you're interested, go to Ella Pastoral on Patreon. Now let's head back into the regularly scheduled content. If you grew up during the time and age that Flash was a prominent internet juggernaut, you knew how impactful Flash was. Flash ran the internet. Like, I don't know if you guys are American or if you guys know the slogan, but in America we have this slogan, America runs on Duncan. Back then, the internet ran on Flash, so you literally could not do anything on the internet, especially play games like how me and my friends were doing without the application known as Flash. But just like all great empires, Flash eventually had to fall, and it was due to a plethora of different issues. According to the article, The Death of Browser Games by Simon Pfeiffer, while it's speculated that the decision to open the letter may have had some anti-competitive and or egotistic reasons behind it, Jobs listed the following 6 reasons behind his decision. It's a proprietary product and Apple prefers open web standards. Websites are switching to better video formats. Flash had bad security, reliability, and performance. Flash unnecessarily drains battery. Flash was not designed for a mobile format. It's an unnecessary layer that holds back innovation. Though we're told things on the internet last forever, on December 12, 2020, Adobe officially stopped support for Adobe Flash. As a result, most remnants of the browser game era are no longer accessible. According to the article, Adobe Flash Player is finally laid to rest by Chris Fox. Eventually, Adobe did get a version of its Flash Player working on smartphones, but the internet had moved on. Big brands such as Facebook, Netflix, and YouTube were already streaming videos to smartphones without Flash, and in November 2011, Adobe ended development of Flash for mobile devices. It continued to produce Flash for desktop computers, but the software suffered from multiple security flaws. In 2015, Apple disbanded the plug-in in its Safari web browser by default, and Google's Chrome started blocking some pieces of Flash content. In July 2017, Adobe announced that it would retire Flash in 2020. I really feel like the death of Flash caused a gigantic apocalyptic impact on online spaces for kids when it got discontinued, and let me explain. So like I said, Flash was very important in a lot of these very simple rudimentary games, but these simple rudimentary games were the lifeblood of a lot of the games that made up our virtual worlds. If you guys have watched any videos by this creator that I mentioned before, you know that one of the most important aspects of these virtual worlds that we loved was definitely the chatting aspect, right? But another aspect that literally, like I said, was the lifeblood of these online worlds were these rudimentary games. So when Flash was no longer able to support itself through Adobe, it literally was the end of the end for all of these virtual worlds, because yes, the kids come to chat, but what about the kids who aren't chatty patties? They came here for the games, and without the games, and I guess without some of the tokens that you know you would need to play these virtual games, these websites were dead. And what is so sad about the death of a lot of these virtual third spaces is that they offered a safe, productive way for kids to chat with one another, play games, and just have a good fun time, and we don't have that. And before y'all come for me in the comments, yes, I know that a lot of these websites weren't 100% safe for kids, but if we're being completely honest, what we have now instead of websites like Club Penguin, Neopets, literally any of the other virtual worlds is way worse than whatever situation that we had back then as kids. At least we as the general public and as a society knew that Club Penguin was for kids, because the state of the internet right now with children is literally hell. The reason why I even wanted to make this video is that after watching TikTok after TikTok and watching video essay after video essay about how people are really disgusted at the fact that these kids are in Sephora doing the absolute damn most, it really began to dawn to me that not only is there no virtual third spaces like how I had when I was a young child, there's no third spaces period for kids. And let me explain. I went to the mall with my cousin last summer, and we is grown. we is big grown. I don't think it was the summer. I think it was low-key in the spring semester. Spring semester and summer always, in my mind, time is an illusion, right? And why does this police guard have the audacity to come up to us and ask us for our licenses? I'm looking at my cousin like, hello? Because from my time growing up, nobody ever carded me. This ain't the club. This is a mall. Why are you asking me for my license? I was looking at my sis like, look at this man being a scam artist. And she's looking at me like, yeah, this is a new recent policy. We get carded all the time. And she was talking about her and her older sister, who's definitely given, like, she's in med school. So they absolutely had no reason to card her. And I'm just thinking, if you were a young child and you just got from school, would they be carding you as well? And if they were carding you, what would you pull out? Me, I drove there, so I had a license. What would they do? What license would they pull out? And I just feel like as I'm looking more and more at the landscape of things, there's no places for kids to hang out and be annoying. Like I said in the previous section or whatever, kids could be loud and obnoxious and do whatever they wanted on Club Penguin. But where can they do that without being like generally accosted? As a society, we knew that those virtual third spaces were for kids. Like if I was 30 going on Club Penguin and getting annoyed at kids, everybody would look at me like I'm a weirdo. There was a certain group of people who did do stuff like that, and we all gave them the side eye, the bronies. Grown men would literally invade a fandom that's known for little girls and cause absolute chaos in that fandom, right? But we shamed them. We looked at bronies as weirdos, as we should. Because literally, why are you like 30 in a fandom for little girls and then was creating gore, NSFW content, all of that? And we knew that that wasn't okay to do because we shamed the hell out of bronies. But now, because of the lack of third spaces in general for kids and virtual third spaces specifically, we're literally living in the worst possible timeline. Like I remember I was talking to my friend about this topic because the importance of the media that I consumed from my preteen phase to my teen phase was very important in how my brain developed. And I'm like, there's nothing that's really for teens or preteens anymore specifically. And what made me think of this is how we don't have any teen heartthrobs anymore. I grew up on the OMG girls, Mindless Behavior, Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber, all of those people who were like super, all of those people, right? And they were like people I looked up to / wanted to be, right? But now I feel like the kids don't have that. And I remember I saw this on TikTok. Guys, I'm so sorry, this is getting all over the place, but I really had to just speak my piece. But literally, we don't have any teen stars. People are saying Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo, but they're in their 20s. These is my peers. I'm in my 20s. So they're not really teen pop stars. Olivia Rodrigo aged out of that demographic. And my bestie was like, so Emma, you really want these kids to be exploited? And I was like, why would you say that? Of course not. But I know that Disney is obviously having these kids somewhere, but we don't have a massive teen pop star to look at. Like the person I can think of that the kids are possibly looking up to right now is the D'Amelio sisters, Charlie and Dixie. But who else? These kids are looking up to people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. That's why these kids are in damn Sephora. The point that I'm trying to make is that these kids don't have any reasonable people to look up to. They're looking at people like us, people in our 20s, our 30s, sometimes damn even in our 40s. We all have the same For You page on TikTok, which is madness. Because how else do you think that these little kids, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, are getting drunk elephant? They saw it on TikTok and said, Mommy, I need this. Mommy, I need this. And a lot of these parents do not care about their kids. They're not doing no research to see why their kid is using a retinoid. They're like, oh, it doesn't say poison. I guess it's fine. But guys, we see the consequences of that. We have no teen stars. We have no safe spaces for kids to be online. We don't have places for kids to really act a ruckus. Like, it's a mess. We're literally living in hell. And kids need third spaces. They need third spaces so bad. I can't really talk about physical third spaces because y'all knew I didn't really have that growing up. I literally only had virtual third spaces. But I can tell you right now, as someone who grew up on the internet, that the ramifications of not having safe places for kids to act a ruckus on is literally being seen in front of our eyes right now. I was on Twitter a couple days ago. And me, I'm grown, guys. I am 22 this year, going to turn 23 when my birthday comes, right? And me, I'm having a good kiki on Twitter, And I saw a tweet of somebody talking about one of the JJK guys. I think they was talking about Gojo, and they made a very explicit tweet, and everybody was retweeting it because I kept seeing it on my timeline over and over. And I'm like, this is really wild and freaky. But something about it seemed wrong about it. I said, because this is a different type of freakiness that is seen in Gojo fans. I went to their Twitter page to see what was going on. Y'all will never believe this. Tell me why I was on this damn Twitter page and it said 13. 13? 13? And people were retweeting, liking it, and also being wild and freaky in the subtweets. So I'm just thinking, Lord God, y'all don't even know y'all interacting with a 13-year-old. And before you get in the comments, well, they should have been in the, they should have gone to the Twitter page to see if there was, a non-minor to see. Y'all know how y'all be in the comment section. But if you're realistic, how many tweets do you actively see on Twitter? And before you like it, interact it, and or retweet, do you click the icon to see if you're arguing with a minor? Realistically, y'all don't do that, because I be catching y'all arguing with minors and I have to be like, wait a minute, you arguing with a kid, block him and keep pushing. And that's just a PG example of some of the wild ish that be going on. And that was even a PG example of the phenomenon of adults messing with minors and minors messing with adults that I see on the internet. And it literally is so scary, because there are just some adult challenges that kids had no business in. Like, I remember during 2020 when Charlie was actually on my For You page. She's not anymore. But there was a borderline twerking challenge, right? And people were like, Charlie, do the twerking challenge. Do the twerking challenge. And she was like, guys, I'm a teenager. I can't twerk on the internet. My mom is going to be mad at me. Tell me why they don't bully this girl into doing a revised version of the twerk challenge. And everybody was like, slay, slay, slay. I'm like, you guys just pressured a little girl into doing some weird ish for y'all's entertainment. And it's just case and case and case and case like that. And when I see all of this nonsense, because I've been seeing this nonsense for a while, and even though I'm only 23, it actively hurts my brain psychology to see how the state of the internet is. And it just makes me miss my nostalgic games, because kids could be weird, annoying, and cringe in peace on these websites. But no, now they're on TikTok, Twitter, and even YouTube being shamed. We're living in the bad timeline, guys. It's so bad. The shift from kids focused on virtual worlds that were relatively safe for them to being on social media is something that we can see, and we should all be very concerned about. Because yes, I know the virtual worlds that I listed previously, they weren't the best, but they are / were better than whatever we have now. At least in those days and ages, you couldn't have someone like allegedly James Charles talking to younger individuals and getting confused about what their age is, because the demographic of these sites were what? Children. If you, like I said, if you was a grown person on Club Penguin getting angry, the world will shame you, because you knew damn well what you was getting in for. According to the article In Memoriam of Girls Go Games and Her Sister by Jamila Darwins, we've become comfortable with the crowding of all ages onto online platforms, and websites like Girls Go Games are proof that we didn't used to be. Time spent online continues to become more and more integrated with social and cultural standing, with tweets blurring into inside jokes and viral TikToks evolving into generational vernacular. That said, we become comfortable with the crowding of all ages onto online platforms, and websites like Girls Go Games are proof that we didn't used to be. There was an importance to spending time online surrounded by other kids on platforms where accidentally misspelling duck will get you banned in seconds. While Minecraft and the like have common regulation systems, they are easily circumventable, and by virtue of the broad span of ages on the platform, can hardly claim to be child-centric. This isn't to say that children are perfect angels online. The potential for online depravity knows no bounds, but there's something sacred about a platform that gives space for kids to be depraved around other kids, and something unsettling about growing up online surrounded by people much older than you, simply because it's no longer lucrative to invest in spaces only for children. And I really feel like the death of Flash literally changed the directory of everything that we know about the internet, because what do the kids do now except for going on TikTok and being influenced by us older adults? The kids are using retinoids. They don't even have acne. You don't even have acne. And the parents, guys, it's so bad because I know I can't really be like acting like a mom figure, but I'm like, damn, I really wish better for these kids because it's bad. It's literally awful. So yeah, in conclusion, I really feel like all of the problems that we're really seeing today with teens and preteens all have to do with the fact that we no longer have third spaces. I just feel so scared for what Gen Alpha is going to be like. I know everybody is coming for Gen Alpha, but it's literally so concerning. There's no third spaces in the physical realm, and there's no positive and safe third spaces in the internet. And y'all know the internet. If you know, you know. I don't even know how to end this video. I'm just so concerned. But if you have a child right now, I'm begging you, please try your best to active parent. If your kid is buying stuff, research it. It could be literally poison in a bottle, in a kawaii bottle, and you don't know. If you have kids, please see what the hell they're watching. We have incels grooming the children. That's all I can do. That's all I can say, guys. If you have your own thoughts on the death of Flash and the death of third spaces as we know it, let me know in the comments. I'm ready to have a discussion with you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.